Hello, everybody. Thank you again for joining us for our weekly webinar series. This week, we are going to be talking about family travel. So I know some of you are just getting settled in. We're running a few minutes behind, but I do apologize. But very, very excited to be talking to you about family travel because not only am I the Vice President of Sagres Vacations, the destination specialist for Portugal and Spain, I'm also the father of two beautiful kids, but they will make sure that if they're not having a good time on vacation, they're going to make sure that mommy and daddy are not having a good time on vacation either. So, and I'm sure a lot of you will relate as well as your clients. So we hope that this session will be very informative. We're going to be talking about very unique, hopefully unique experiences for children of all ages. And so just bear with me one second while we get the PowerPoint set up here. I think we're having some technical issues. Yep. And off, here we go. So once again, thank you for joining us. And my name is Marco Fernandez. I am going to be leading you through this family travel webinar for the next 30-45 minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to put that into the Q&A session, and we'll hopefully be able to answer those. Behind the scenes, I have Patricia Cordero. Many of you have talked to her, who is going to be guiding me through the webinar as well. Patricia, can you go to the next slide? Great. So a little bit about Sagres Vacations for those of you who are joining us who may be new to our company. We are destination specialists for Portugal and Spain. We focus on private tailored itineraries in both these two amazing countries, personalized experiences for individuals and small groups, customized, tailored, bespoke itineraries, again, with very unique, authentic experiences for children of all ages and parents. Flexible payment policy, create your own commission. All of our itineraries, again, are all net, and they're private itineraries to you, giving you the ability to make your own commission, giving you that freedom to set your own markup in this case, and VIP concierge as well. Next, Penny. So here's something I'm sure some of us, and I have heard, kids' vacation complaints. The ocean has salt in it. Sand is sandy. No Wi-Fi on the beach. Too outdoorsy outside, and lobster, I want pizza. I just think it's funny. This was authored by Housewife of Hell. So, you know, traveling with kids can be a challenge, to say the least. And one of the things that I know your clients look for when traveling as a family is how to keep the kids entertained, but with the right kind of entertainment, connected with the culture, interactive perhaps with other kids while they're going on vacation, and make sure they have a good time, because they're going to make sure that if they're not having a great time, you're not going to be enjoying your vacation as well. Next slide. So Portugal has kid-approved weather, over 300 days of sunny weather on average. And, you know, that's great because kids want to be outside. And if not, they should be able to play outside, interact with other kids as well. Next slide. We also have kid-approved water parks throughout the country. So of course, this is a complement to the entire stay, where you can actually personalize your client's experience, having them stay at beautiful hotel resorts, but you know, on their free days, to go take them to water parks all throughout the entire country, from the north in Porto all the way to the Algarve, to the islands of the Azores, to Madeira. You have plenty of these immersive water activities very close to any of the hotels. Next slide, Ben. Kid-approved desserts. This is one of my favorite. I grew up eating these when I was in Portugal at the beach. These are the bolas de Berlim, sort of like a Boston cream style donut. And kids love these, eat them up, as well as all of the other desserts, especially in the hot summer day. Very, very popular around the beach. But any kind of desserts, obviously, kids love those. Next slide. And beaches. You have 600 kilometers of sandy white beaches throughout the entire country. So for those parents who are taking kids, again, of all ages, that want to have an experience on the beach, perhaps they're staying on the beach at a hotel right on the coast, or perhaps they're staying in the city. But even in the city, you're never more than an hour to 45 minutes away from the coastline. So you have these beautiful sandy white beaches where you can enjoy the day at leisure with the children, be able to play, swim, and so forth. Next slide, Adam. But as importantly, Portugal has parent-approved wine. So, you know, of course, with all the running around that the kids make you do, you want to make sure that the parents are taken care of as well. And Portugal offers amazing wine experiences. So this is not for the kiddos, this is for the adults. But I think it's important to understand that the parents can enjoy some time there, and you can complement the stay at the beach with a winery not far away from the hotel. Next slide. So here we're going to talk about some of the very unique experiences that Portugal has to offer and such vacations can deliver for your clients. One of these is a very interesting and sleeping with the sharks in the Lisbon Oceanarium. Here you can see the picture of the main water tank with all the fishes, and you can actually reserve a date for your clients to have their kids sleep, and obviously under the supervision of the staff at the Oceanarium, be able to feed the fishes, learn about them, and in a very small group environment, a very interesting, interactive way for them to be immersed in the Oceanarium life. Again, these have to be made with plenty of advance, months in advance, because there's only select dates. But especially for children who love water, who love going out to the ocean and are in that phase of learning, this is really unique and really an amazing experience. Next, Penny. Then you have discovered the street art of Lisbon. You can find art all over Lisbon, and you know, kids love looking at different designs, different paintings, the mosaic on the floor, and so forth. And here's an example you can find in the streets of Lisbon. So we can actually curate a tour to walk around all of these sites where you have this beautiful arts throughout the city of Lisbon and other cities in Portugal. Next, Patty. Then you have other experiences such as the hidden passageways at Quinta da Regaleira. For those of you who have not been to Quinta da Regaleira, this is a park, beautiful park in Sintra, in the center or close to the center, the historic center of Sintra. So it's not Pena Palace. Many of you recognize Pena Palace because it's the beautiful castle up on the hill. Quinta da Regaleira has tremendous outdoor space, and it has these hidden caves and walkways. Kids just love discovering, running around. It's affords a little bit more space as well, so you're not crowded going into as you would be going into the palace. This gives you more flexibility to run around, enjoy the cafe on site. They also have shops. They do have a small palace on the grounds, but the best advantage here is that the kids can be kids. They can run around, explore these caves, these hidden passageways, and again, it's a 10-minute walk from the historic center of Sintra. Next slide. And then you have beautiful towns such as Costa Nova, where you can discover the colorful seaside town here with all of the beautiful colors of this town called Costa Nova, which translates into New Coast for those who may not be as familiar with Portuguese. These are beautiful homes, and you can see how brightly and the colors are, and kids just love running around and looking at the colors. A lot of these are summer homes for not only Portuguese, but foreigners from Europe and other places that come to Costa Nova to spend their summer. But it was originally a traditional fishing village, and then with timing, it has turned into more of a summer seaside home. But beautiful colors, and you can explore these streets all throughout, and then go swimming right through the nearby beach. Next slide. And one of the things we're really passionate about is getting the children, I mean, all passengers, but getting the children engaged in hands-on activities. And here you have an azulejo, the Portuguese tile, which for those of you who have been to Portugal, you probably have seen them everywhere, from Lisbon to the north in Porto, to the islands, the Algarve, Alentejo, all throughout the entire country. And here's an experience where you can have children actually try their luck at creating a little piece of azulejo that they can bring home and stay with them, and it's a little memento of their trip to Portugal. And you can do this with the children too. So you know, if you have clients that want to do it as a family experience, you know, the adults can try their luck as well as the children, and kind of have a little bit of a contest, family contest going on. And of course, practice makes perfect. This is an example of a train station in Aveiro, and you can see the beautiful tile work throughout the train station. So again, you know, if you practice hard enough on those tiles, perhaps you can get the children to come up with a beautiful masterpiece like this years when they get to be adults. Next slide, please. So continuing on with the hands-on experience, you know, one of the more popular workshops that we offer for both adults and children, but I think the kids really get a kick out of creating their own food, and in this case, the Portuguese cornbread. And you can see here some pictures of the children creating this traditional bread that is known mostly in the north of the country. And it's a hands-on activity. So they get their hands dirty. They really love being able to create these. And the parents love it because they're connecting with the culture, the history, and they're creating memories as well. So it's, you know, it's not just playing video games. It's not just walking around town looking at sites, but it's actually being able to interact and creating something that they'll be able to eat in a few hours, and creating these wonderful memories with their parents that otherwise they wouldn't be able to. And that's one of the things we're really passionate about in every one of our itineraries, especially where we have children that can actually interact with the culture, come away with a deeper understanding of these wonderful things that you can do as a family in Portugal. Next slide. This is one of my favorites. There, Christmas Village in Portugal. There is a town, a small town called Cabeça, which is in the interior of the country, in the north, northeast part of the country. And it is a town that is known for their eco-friendly Christmas decor. You can see here they use materials that they can easily found in nature to create ornaments and so forth. And there's activities, which we're going to show on the next slide, that the kids can get involved in. And it's a beautiful, looks like a postcard, but it's a beautiful little village. The kids enjoy going there, and it's such an authentic way of exploring Christmas. Next slide. Here you have it again, the town with the lights around the windows, as well as the different pictures there on the left of the materials you can find around the land where they build the decorations. In this case, the Christmas bells. They're doing Christmas ornaments down at the bottom, and then you see the trunks of the trees being used for the decorations as well, Christmas decorations on top. So the whole town is just in this magical energy of Christmas throughout most of the year, but of course during Christmas time, it's turned up 100%. So kids really enjoy going there and be able to interact with other kids as well, and create these workshops. Next slide. So we go from the cold of the Christmas to the sun of the Algarve and the Sand City, which is the largest sand sculpture theme park in the world. And this is in the south side of the country, again in the Algarve. And this happens every year. Traditionally, I believe it is in July. But if you plan the dates accordingly for your clients, they can actually be able to experience the artists create these wonderful sand masterpieces. And it is the largest, again, sand sculpture in the world. All kinds of different sculptures throughout. And it's amazing to see the detail of it. and kids really get a kick out of it because they'll see, you know, Mickey, they'll see all of their different cartoons being created in the sand sculptures. Next slide. And then, of course, horseback riding, especially on the beach, it's an amazing way to, either for somebody who's learning or somebody who's already an avid rider, to be able to experience horseback riding in Comporta and Alentejo, anywhere throughout Portugal. It's a great way to be outside, experience, have that sense of adventure by the ocean with the waves crashing near you. Again, great family type of experience to create those memories. Next slide. And then you, excuse me, you have hot air ballooning over the Alentejo, and you can do it throughout the country. The Alentejo is really is very prone to the hot air balloon because it is a large area of the country. You can see for miles and miles. You can even see into the border of Spain. So it's a beautiful way of experiencing the country, looking at the beautiful landscapes below. But again, you can do it in the north as well as in the Algarve, obviously depending on the wind situation that day. But we find it's a very unique way and great big family experience, you know, to be up high and be able to see and experience the thrill of soaring through the Alentejo plains here. And all of these activities can be easily done if you're staying in Lisbon, if your clients are staying in Lisbon, in Porto, in the Alentejo. Again, if you're mixing some nights with the Azores or Madeira or even Spain, so you can actually combine these, because Portugal's a small country. You can get from one place to the other and have these experiences relatively with ease. Next slide. This is something that kids love, the Algar Cave in Terceira. This is a natural volcanic cave in the island of Terceira in the Azores. It's beautiful, and it's in its natural state. So basically, you're going walking down about 150 steps to 200, 150 to 200 steps down, and you have the beautiful walls of the cave, and you have the sun coming in from the top of the volcano, the crater, which is obviously dormant at this point. But it's a great way to see the landscape, a great way to teach kids about the fossils and the different landscapes of the Azores. And they just love taking pictures and be able to walk around and touch the walls with the different materials around the cave. Next slide. You know, something else that, you know, kids and parents alike, we all love water activities, and this is a great way to get them exposed to surfing, kayaking, stand-up paddle. Here's a picture of learning how to surf, but you could do this all throughout the country. Again, there's a town near Lisbon called Ericeira, which is known for the top surfing schools, and they do have kid lessons as well, but you can do it all throughout the country. And a great way to expose children to be outside, be in the water, and create a family moments and memories by spending a day learning how to surf, kayak, and stand-up paddle, any of those water activities. Next slide. And here we are in Madeira, in the beautiful island of Madeira, and taking a toboggan ride down from the town of Monte all the way to Funchal. This is a thrilling ride. These are wicker baskets, and you can see the gentleman behind the wicker basket. They're the ones that steer and brake. And this is a thrill ride for adults and children alike, because you're basically just going downhill, and you're at the mercy of these gentlemen steering you and braking when you need to. And kids love that thrill, the thrill of speed, and be able to just be out in the open air. And these toboggans, from a historical standpoint, used to be how the locals in Madeira would transport themselves prior to the cars being available on the island. So they've now reclaimed this as sort of a tourist attraction to be able to offer tourists this thrilling ride down from the Monte, which is the higher ground above Funchal, to come down into the city. Next slide. And then we go back to the Algarve here with the Beniguil Cave. This is probably one of the most photographed caves, sea caves in the Algarve. Those of you who have been to the Algarve probably have seen it or been there. It is an amazing view from either up top to when you arrive inside the sea cave or just by the boat. When it's a low tide, the boats can actually come into the beach. If they're a small enough boat, the larger boats, catamarans, have to stay a little bit far side. But it's beautiful to just come in and spend some time swimming on this small little private beach on this a sea cave that's, excuse me, offer these beautiful pictures. And many of agents that have booked families have taken great family photographs here as well, and a great way to spend a lazy afternoon in exploring these sea caves in the Algarve coastline. Next slide. So the Chocolate Festival in Óbidos is also a great attraction. Óbidos is a medieval town. You can see some of the castles here, the castle walls here in the background. Kids can also walk along the castle walls, which is a thrill by itself. But every year they have the Chocolate Festival in Óbidos, and it makes the whole experience even more sweet as the kids can explore everything related to chocolate. There's chocolate sculptures, there's chocolate workshops, everything related to chocolate is available here in Óbidos, and it's a great way to interact. There's games everywhere as well. And then moving on to the Umbrella Project in Águeda, which is also another very unique experience. This was something that was created years ago and is now taken variations all over the world, but this is the original Umbrella Project in the city of Águeda, where you can see the beautiful umbrellas that decorate over your head and that fill in the streets. It's beautiful colors, and kids love just running around looking at the different colors, and it's very different than the city, so it allows children to explore some of the other behind the scenes parts of Portugal, smaller towns, different experiences. Next slide. And staying with the chocolate concept, they can also visit and stay the Chocolate Museum, which is on the north part of the country. And this is a hotel, small hotel that has a chocolate decorations in the rooms. They have a chocolate museum, so kids just love spending the day there. It's in an area very close to the Gerês National Park, which is a national preserve. And you can combine this with a hike, swimming in the natural pools, exploring the hidden waterfalls, and then you can come back and wind down at your chocolate hotel and museum for the day. So not a bad way to spend the afternoon or an entire week here in the north of the country. Next slide. And of course, cooking experiences. We talked about the bread early on, but being able to have the children actually cook either meal, dessert, interact with the local chefs. You know, many of these cooking workshops, we either have a private one where we can combine it with a small group one where there have other kids. And so it's a great way to make new friends, even for the day, to be able to have the kids interact with others and create these culinary delights that they'll be very proud of. So that's something that can also be done throughout the country. And it's just a matter of reserving it. And especially if it's a family with 2 or 3 kids, it's a great way to get the whole family involved and maybe at that point create a private experience for them. Next slide. And this is also one of my favorites. This is the Lelo Library in Porto. For those of you who are looking at the picture and it may look a bit familiar, it's because it is the inspiration for Harry Potter, the movies, where you can see the staircase on one of the Harry Potter series movies that was released. J.K. Rowling's actually lived in Porto for 2 years, and a number of inspirations for the Harry Potter series came from the city. Such as the library here, also the Black Cape, also is a traditional a schoolwear for the university students as well. So kids can actually come into the library here and actually be connected to the movie and see it, the library where the inspiration for the movie came from. Next slide. And then this is also a very unique experience in the Alentejo. We have an area, it's called Dark Sky Alqueva Reserve, which is an astronomer's, or in this case, little astronomers, aspiring astronomers' dream, because it is an area regarded as dark sky country certified. So they have ability to be gazing out to the stars. They have microscopes there. I'm sorry, telescopes, I should say. Telescopes there, you can look out to the sky and be able to see all of the constellations. And we can create itineraries for 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, where people just like camp out as a family, be able to watch the shooting stars, the constellations throughout. It's an amazing experience in the middle of the Alentejo, closer to the Spanish border in this case. Next slide. Now, of course, where to stay. You know, we've talked a lot about all these different amazing experiences, but where can your client stay that is catered to children? Next slide. So we're going to give you a couple different options. One of them here is the Martinhal Family Resort. Martinhal is a collection of different hotels throughout Portugal, and they are well regarded as far as family friendly, and they have everything from babysitting services to kids clubs to different activities, on-site and off-site, soccer, volleyball, water activities designed just for the children of all ages. And it is definitely a property that we work very closely with for families, because they have access to the beach. There's also a Martinhal hotel in Lisbon, in the center of Lisbon. Of course, there you will not have beach access, but you will have many activities that they incorporate into the stay, as far as coloring, exploring the city. They do different cooking workshops as well. So it's a great place to stay, either in the Algarve or in Lisbon itself. Next slide. Glamping in Madeira, these amazing spheres, tents in the island of Madeira. Kids love being able to look out and seeing the sky, and it's just a different way to spend a night, or 2 or 3 nights. And this is near the Funchal. Madeira is not a big island itself, so you can easily get from the capital to here and vice versa. But it gives you amazing views over the sky, over the ocean as well, with all the amenities. And again, kids love just sort of being able to be outside, and you can see all of the stars as well at night. Next slide. And then you have 18th century palaces, or pousadas, dotted all throughout the country. This is an example of the Palácio de Freixo, not very far from the center of Porto. So this is a little bit more of an upscale property, but it's, you know, these are palaces, castles. So kids love just being able to learn about the history, especially the older children love connecting the room where they're staying with the kings and queens that used to own it back in the 15th, 16th century. So it gives you a different option to for your clients to be able to explore and be able to connect their stay with history and culture throughout. Next slide. This is one of my favorites, is contemporary treehouse in the center of the country. And this is a natural park as well, and they built several of these tree houses. So think about, kids love tree houses. They love climbing up on trees and being able to explore the forest and everything that has to offer. And here you can actually stay and spend 2 or 3 nights in a contemporary tree house, again, with all the amenities. The beauty of it is it offers a lot of activities outside. You can do hikes. There's games you can play. There's a lot of different things. There's a river right by it too as well, so you can actually do water activities. Again, a very unique way to spend some time and create those memories on vacation with your children. Next slide. And of course, we also have the family-owned wineries. And here, the attraction may be a little bit more for the parents, but also kids love the space that they can afford because these are winery farms. So they can roam around, they can run, between the vineyards. It offers a different perspective other than being in the city. And it's a little bit more laid back. A lot of these properties have beautiful pools as well. They're much smaller, so this is great for families who sort of want to get away a little bit and don't want to be in the hustle and bustle of a busy hotel in downtown. And of course, here you're going to have great service, you're going to have great food, great wine for the adults, and of course the kids can enjoy the juices and the regular soft drinks as well. But the one advantage here, I would say, is that it affords so much space and kids just love running around and be able to explore and do a hike. You can actually do biking tours with the children here from these vineyards. Next slide. Yeah, and as we're getting to the tail end here of our presentation, as much as we want to fulfill all of these different experiences for your clients and create these amazing experiences, we also have to find time to create memories. And this is just a picture that sort of illustrates that point. A lot of times we get lost in creating all of these different type of itineraries, being busy all the time. And we want to step back and also be able to create these unstructured memories throughout the itinerary. So that's one thing we do try to do and do a very good job of being able to create downtime, leisure time. A lot of the hotels, the properties we utilize are very close to restaurants, to cafes, where you can actually enjoy some downtime, shops, and so forth, so that there's not structure throughout their 7 or 10-day itinerary. Next slide. And so this is the last slide of the presentation. And again, just a summary about Sagres Vacations. Our minimum group size is 1. Obviously for families, for small groups, big, large family reunions, we can accommodate all those. But it's all private itineraries for your customers. It's all personalized, all tailored to your customers as well. Culinary workshops, home hosted meals, some of the options we can do as far as food, obviously private wine tastings for the adults, 24-hour travel support hotline. Again, we have an office on site in Portugal, so it's very easy for us to service your clients between the office here in Boston as well as in Portugal. And private dinner events, personal shopping, spa experiences, weddings and honeymoon. And basically just think of us as your premier concierge service to Portugal and Spain. We can certainly create any one of many different experiences that your clients are looking for. So having said that, I think there are some questions here. So where is the Chocolate Museum located? So the Chocolate Museum is located in Viana do Castelo, which is in the north of the country. And it's right in the center of town. And if you have any more questions about that, I can certainly provide more information on that. And the place with lots of umbrellas. That is the city of Águeda. It's a small town. It's a really off the beaten path because unless you know where it is, it's probably not in most tourist maps. And that was the original Umbrella Sky project. Now you see it in places like Cambodia, in other European cities as well. But this was the original Umbrella Sky project, was created in Águeda. It's about 20 minutes, about 45 minutes from Aveiro, and about an hour, a little bit over an hour from Porto. So if you are in Porto, you can do a day trip to Águeda and be able to come back and enjoy the day there, exploring the beautiful streets in the city there. And question about the glamping globes in Madeira and also the tree houses. How many people can accommodate? So they do have different sizes. Normally you can have a family there with 2 children. They have most of the structures are catered around 2 adults and 1 child. However, they do have accommodations for 2 children in both the tree houses and the globes in the glamping globes in Madeira as well. Again, if you have any more questions on that, just let us know. As far as, there's a question there too on the, I think that was it. Somebody else in the chat. Oh, the aquarium in English in Lisbon. So there's a question about the aquarium in Lisbon as far as the language. So English is widely spoken in Portugal. It's very easy from any, and especially in the hospitality and service business, you will find many people speak English, and that is the case with the Oceanarium in Lisbon. I would say the majority, if not all of their employees speak English fluently. They'll certainly be able to understand and communicate with their children in English. My kids were born here in the States. They speak both English and Portuguese. However, when they go to Portugal, sometimes they just stick to the English, and they can easily communicate with everybody from hotels to the Oceanarium and people that they meet throughout. So hopefully that inspired you to provide these amazing family experiences to your clients. Again, these are just a few of the experiences. There's so much more. It's hard to combine that into a 30, 45-minute webinar. But hopefully this gives you sort of a little bit of a taste of what your clients can offer. Think of it as an open book, because a lot of things we've been able to create from scratch. So if your clients are looking for, helicopter trips over the Alentejo, or they're doing for renting a yacht or a boathouse in the Alentejo, or different, very unique experiences, we can make that happen. Our phone number is there, 877-412-4394. And thank you so much for joining us once again for this, this session. Looking forward to another great webinar next week, where we're going to be exploring the wine routes of Portugal. And so that certainly will not be focused on the children. It'll be focused more on the parents. And I think you will enjoy that as well, as we explore the different wine regions and the different private experiences we could do with wines for your customers. So once again, thank you. If we didn't answer all your questions, we will address them in an email after this presentation. Thanks again for joining us, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.